First contact. The Starship Odyssey hung in the inky blackness of space, its sleek hull reflecting the distant starlight. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the swerving blue-green planet that filled the main view screen. After years of interstellar travel, they had finally found what they were looking for, a habitable world teeming with life. Sensor analysis complete, Captain, announced Lieutenant Raj Patel from his station. The atmosphere is breathable, and there are no detectable toxins or pathogens that our systems can't handle. Sarah nodded, a mix of excitement and apprehension coursing through her. Any signs of intelligent life? Raj tapped at his console, brow furrowed in concentration. There are definite signs of civilization, ma'am. We're picking up electromagnetic emissions consistent with a pre-spaceflight society. Technology level appears to be similar to Earth's early 21st century. Well, Sarah said, a small smile tugging at her lips, looks like we're about to make history. Prepare the landing party. We're going down there. As the crew bustled with activity, Sarah couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Humanity had come so far, overcoming countless obstacles to reach the stars. Now, they stood on the precipice of their greatest achievement yet, first contact with an alien civilization. Hours later, Sarah led a small team across the alien world's lush, purple-hued grasslands. The air was thick and sweet, filled with the calls of unseen creatures. In the distance, a sprawling city of crystalline spires glimmered in the light of the planet's twin suns. Stay alert, Sarah cautioned her team. Remember your training. We're here to observe and make peaceful contact if possible. As they approached the outskirts of the city, movement caught Sarah's eye. A group of tall, slender beings emerged from the underbrush, their skin a shifting palette of blues and greens. They moved with a fluid grace that seemed almost unreal. Sarah held up her hand, signaling her team to halt. She took a deep breath and stepped forward, palms raised in what she hoped was a universal gesture of peace. "We come in peace," she said, her words translated by the small device at her throat. "We are explorers from a distant world, seeking friendship and knowledge." The aliens paused, their large, multifaceted eyes blinking rapidly. One of them, slightly taller than the rest, approached Sarah. Its head tilted to one side, reminding her of a curious bird. "You, not like us," the alien said, its voice a melodious trill that the translator struggled to interpret. "What are you?" Sarah smiled, trying to appear as non-threatening as possible. "We are humans, from a planet called Earth. We've traveled very far to meet other intelligent life in the universe." The alien's skin rippled with patterns of light, which Sarah guessed might be a form of communication or emotional expression. "Humans," it repeated, as if tasting the word. "I am Zrel of the Aetheri. Welcome to Uther." As the initial tension eased, both groups began to mingle cautiously. The Aetheri were fascinated by the humans' solid, unchanging skin and the variety of colors and textures in their hair. Sarah found herself the center of attention, with several Aetheri gently touching her arms and face in wonder. Zrel approached her again, its eyes fixed on her legs. "Curious structure," it said. "What's between your legs? How do you move?" Sarah felt her face flush, caught off guard by the direct question. She reminded herself that the alien likely had no concept of human modesty or anatomy. "Those are my legs," she explained patiently. "They're how we walk and run." "See?" She took a few steps to demonstrate. The Aetheri watched in fascination, their own lower bodies seeming to flow rather than step. Zrel's skin flashed with patterns of blue and green. "Inefficient," it commented, "but interesting. You are full of surprises, humans." As the day wore on, the two groups continued to exchange information and observations. The humans marveled at the Aetheri's ability to change their skin color and texture at will, while the aliens were impressed by the humans' endurance and physical strength. However, not all interactions were smooth. When Dr. Marcus Lee, the team's xenobiologist, attempted to take a skin sample from a willing Aetheri, he was shocked to find his scalpel pass right through the alien's arm. "Fascinating," Marcus exclaimed, his scientific curiosity overriding his surprise. "Their cellular structure must be radically different from ours. It's almost as if they're partially phased out of our reality." This incident led to a tense moment, with some Etheri recoiling in fear and others advancing threateningly. Sarah quickly intervened, apologizing for the misunderstanding and explaining the concept of scientific research. Zrel, who had emerged as a sort of liaison, helped calm its people. "The humans are strange, but they do not mean harm," it assured the others. "Their curiosity is like that of a newborn Etheri, touching and tasting everything to understand it." As the suns began to set, casting the landscape in an ethereal purple glow, Sarah knew it was time to return to the Odyssey. She approached Zrel, feeling a mix of elation and anxiety about what this encounter would mean for both their species. "Zrel, we must return to our ship now," she said, "but we would like to continue our discussions, to learn more about each other and perhaps establish a lasting friendship between our peoples." Zrel's skin shimmered with what Sarah had come to recognize as a positive emotion. "Yes, return," it said. "We have much to share, much to learn. Your coming changes everything, humans. The stars are no longer silent." As Sarah and her team prepared to leave, she couldn't help but feel a sense of awe at what they had accomplished. In just one day, they had not only made first contact with an alien civilization, but had begun to bridge the vast gulf of understanding between two radically different species. Back on the Odyssey, the crew gathered in the mess hall, buzzing with excitement as they shared their experiences and observations. Sarah stood at the head of the room, waiting for the chatter to die down. "Today, we've made history," she began, her voice filled with pride and determination. "But our work is just beginning. The Etheri are unlike anything we could have imagined, and I have no doubt that there are countless other civilizations out there, each unique and valuable in their own way." She paused, looking around at the eager faces of her crew. "We carry with us the hopes and dreams of all humanity. It's our responsibility to represent the best of what we are, our curiosity, our compassion, and our unwavering spirit of exploration." As Sarah concluded her speech, a sense of purpose filled the room. They all knew that the path ahead would be challenging, filled with misunderstandings and potential conflicts. But they also knew that this was what humanity had been striving for since they first looked up at the stars and wondered what lay beyond. The next few days were a whirlwind of activity. The humans established a base camp near the Etheri city, and delegations from both sides engaged in lengthy discussions and cultural exchanges. Linguists worked tirelessly to improve the translation algorithms, while scientists from both species cautiously began collaborative research projects. One evening, as Sarah sat with Zrel watching the twin suns set, the Etheri turned to her with an expression she had learned to read as serious contemplation. "Sarah," Zrel said, using her name for the first time, "your coming has caused much debate among my people. Some fear you, others wish to embrace you. But all agree that the universe has changed. We are no longer alone." Sarah nodded, understanding the weight of the moment. "It's the same for us, Zrel. Meeting you has changed everything we thought we knew about life and the universe. But I believe that together, we can achieve great things." As the last rays of sunlight painted the sky in brilliant hues of orange and purple, Sarah felt a profound sense of hope. Whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity had taken its first steps into a larger, more wondrous universe than they had ever imagined. The journey ahead would be difficult, but with determination, compassion, and an unwavering spirit of exploration, she knew that they would face it head-on. The age of humanity's cosmic isolation was over. A new era of interstellar cooperation and discovery had begun, and Sarah Chen and her crew were at the forefront, ready to lead humanity into its bold new future among the stars. The alien threat. The peace between humans and Etheri was shattered by a deafening boom that shook the crystalline spires of the alien city. Captain Sarah Chen rushed out of her temporary quarters, her heart pounding as she witnessed a terrifying sight in the violet sky above Ether. A massive, pitch-black ship had appeared in low orbit, its hull seeming to absorb all light around it. Smaller craft poured from its hangars, descending upon the city like a swarm of angry insects. "This is not our doing," Zrel's panicked voice came through Sarah's comm device. "They are the Void Hunters, a scourge that preys upon developing worlds. We thought we were hidden, but your arrival must have drawn their attention." Sarah's mind raced. The Odyssey was no match for a ship of that size, and the Ethery's pre-space flight technology offered little defense. Yet she knew they couldn't stand idly by while this world was conquered or destroyed. "Zrel, gather your leaders. We need to form a plan, fast," Sarah commanded, her training kicking in. "Lieutenant Patel, get me a secure link to the Odyssey. We're going to need every trick in the book for this one." As chaos erupted around them, Sarah found herself in an impromptu war council with the Ethery elders and her senior officers. The Void Hunters had begun their assault, using energy weapons that seemed to disrupt the very fabric of space-time. "Our phase-shifting abilities are useless against their weapons," an Ethery elder lamented. "They studied our kind before." Sarah's mind whirled with possibilities. "But they haven't studied humans before," she said, a plan forming. "We might be able to use that to our advantage." She turned to her chief engineer, a grizzled veteran named Jack Torres. "Jack, remember that experimental phase shift drive we were working on? The one that kept burning out our systems?" Jack's eyes widened with understanding. "Captain, you're not suggesting—" "Oh, I'm suggesting it," Sarah said with a grim smile. "If we can't beat them with brute force, we'll have to outthink them." The next few hours were a blur of frantic activity. While the Aetheri used their limited technology to mount a defensive perimeter around their main city, the human crew worked tirelessly to modify their equipment with the help of Aetheri phase-shifting technology. The plan was audacious, bordering on insane. They would use the Odyssey's experimental drive to create a massive phase-shift field around the Void Hunter's mothership, temporarily pushing it out of normal space-time. This would buy them time to deal with a smaller craft and potentially find a way to communicate with or neutralize a larger threat. As the final preparations were made, Sarah addressed her crew and the Aetheri defenders. "What we're about to attempt has never been done before. It's dangerous, and the odds are stacked against us. But that's never stopped humanity before, and it won't stop us now. Together with our new allies, we're going to show these Void Hunters that they picked the wrong planet to mess with." A cheer went up from both humans and Aetheri. Despite their differences, a sense of unity had formed in the face of this common threat. The battle that followed would be remembered in the annals of both human and Aetheri history. The Odyssey, a ship designed for exploration, darted between enemy fighters, its hastily modified shields flickering with Aetheri phase shift technology. On the ground, humans and Aetheri fought side by side, the solidity of human weapons complementing the Aetheri's ability to phase through solid matter. Sarah stood on the bridge of the Odyssey, barking orders as they maneuvered into position. All power to the phase shift drive. Brace for impact. The ship shuddered as the experimental drive engaged. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a silent flash that seemed to bend the light around it, the massive Void Hunter mothership flickered. "It's working," Raj shouted from his station. "Their ship is facing in and out of our space-time." But the victory was short-lived. Alarms blared across the Odyssey as systems began to overload. "Captain, the drive is destabilizing." Jack's voice came over the comm. "We can't maintain the field." Sarah gritted her teeth. They were so close. "Divert all non-essential power to the drive. We need to hold them just a little longer." As the Odyssey's systems flickered and died around them, the crew worked feverishly to maintain the phase shift field. On the planet's surface, the tide of battle began to turn as the Void Hunters, cut off from their mothership, found themselves outmatched by the combined ingenuity of humans and Aetheri. Just when it seemed the Odyssey couldn't take any more, a brilliant light filled the sky. The Void Hunter's mothership, caught between dimensions, began to break apart. Cheers erupted across the battlefield as the smaller craft, seeing their command ship destroyed, began to retreat. In the aftermath of the battle, as the adrenaline wore off, the true scale of what they had accomplished began to sink in. Humans and Aetheri alike stared in awe at the debris of the Void Hunter mothership burning up in the atmosphere, a testament to what they could achieve together. Sarah found Zrel amidst the celebration, the ethery skin shimmering with patterns she now recognized as joy and gratitude. Your people fought with a courage and determination we had not thought possible from solid beings, Zrel said. We owe you a debt we can never repay. Sarah shook her head, smiling. There's no debt between friends, Zrel. We stood together against a common threat. That's what allies do. As the twin suns set on the battered but unbowed planet, Sarah looked out at the mixture of humans and Aetheri working together to rebuild. She knew that word of this victory would spread, both across Earth's budding colonies and to other alien civilizations. Humanity had proven itself on the galactic stage, not just through strength of arms, but through courage, ingenuity, and the ability to unite diverse peoples against a common foe. The threat was over for now, but Sarah knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders and dangers they had yet to imagine. But whatever challenges lay ahead, she was confident that humanity, with its unyielding spirit and newfound allies, was ready to face them. As she watched a group of human engineers excitedly discussing phase shift technology with Aetheri scientists, Sarah allowed herself a moment of pride. This, she thought, this is why we reach for the stars. Not just to explore, but to connect, to learn, and to grow beyond what we thought possible. The age of humanity's cosmic isolation was truly over. A new era had begun, one of interstellar alliances, shared knowledge, and common purpose. And Sarah Chen, along with her crew and their Aetheri allies, would be at the forefront, ready to lead the way into humanity's bold new future among the stars, the quantum nexus. In the wake of the Void Hunter's defeat, a new era of cooperation between humans and Aetheri dawned. However, the universe had more surprises in store for this fledgling alliance. Captain Sarah Chen stood in awe before a massive holographic display aboard the refitted Odyssey. What had started as a routine deep space scan had revealed something unprecedented, a colossal structure floating in the void between star systems. What are we looking at, Dr. Lee? Sarah asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Dr. Marcus Lee, the xenobiologist turned quantum physicist, manipulated the hologram with a series of gestures. We're calling it the quantum nexus, Captain. It's artificial, ancient, and defies our understanding of physics. It seems to be a junction point for reality itself. Zrel, now serving as the Aetheri ambassador aboard the Odyssey, rippled with patterns of deep blue, a sign of intense concentration. Our oldest legends speak of the cosmic architects, beings who shaped the very fabric of space-time. Could this be one of their creations? Before anyone could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. Lieutenant Patel's voice crackled over the comm system. Captain, we're detecting multiple ships approaching at impossible speeds. They're coming out of the Nexus. Sarah's training kicked in. Battle stations. Prepare for. Her words were cut short as reality itself seemed to warp around them. The ship shuddered, and for a moment, every crew member experienced a disorienting sensation of existing in multiple places simultaneously. When the sensation passed, Sarah realized with a start that they were no longer in deep space. The Odyssey now floated in low orbit around an unfamiliar planet, its surface a mesmerizing swirl of colors that seemed to defy natural law. Status report. Sarah barked, fighting to maintain composure. All systems operational, Captain, Raj reported, his fingers flying over his console. But you're not going to believe this. According to our chronometers, we've jumped 5 years into the future. A hush fell over the bridge as the implications sank in. They had not only been transported across vast distances, but through time itself. The Nexus, Dr. Lee breathed, his eyes wide with excitement and fear. It must be some kind of space-time transportation network. But who built it? And why have we been brought here? As if in answer to his question, a shimmering portal opened in the center of the bridge. Through it stepped a being that defied description, a swirling mass of energy and information given form. Greetings, humans and Aetheri. The being's voice resonated in their minds rather than their ears. We are the quantum custodians, guardians of the cosmic balance. Your united stand against the Void Hunters has not gone unnoticed. Sarah stepped forward, her heart racing but her voice steady. Why have you brought us here? The custodian's form rippled, creating an effect reminiscent of a sad smile. A great cataclysm approaches, one that threatens not just your species or your galaxy, but the very fabric of the multiverse. We have searched countless realities for those with the potential to face this threat. You are among the chosen. Images flooded their minds, countless parallel Earths and others, some thriving, others lying in ruin. They saw versions of themselves making different choices, leading to vastly different outcomes. The Void Hunters were but a prelude, the custodian continued. The true enemy is entropy itself, given consciousness and purpose. It seeks to unravel creation, to return all to the void. We need your unique combination of solidarity and ingenuity to help us fight it. Sarah exchanged glances with her crew and with Zrel. In that moment, she knew they were all thinking the same thing. This was beyond anything they had ever imagined, but if humanity and the Aetheri could play a role in saving existence itself, how could they refuse? We'll need to contact Earth, to explain, Sarah began, but the custodian cut her off with a gentle pulse of energy. Time flows differently here. When your mission is complete, you will be returned to your own time and place. None on Earth will know you were gone. Sarah took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. Then tell us what we need to do. What followed was a crash course in cosmic physics and multidimensional strategy. The crew of the Odyssey, along with their Aetheri allies, found themselves thrust into a war beyond wars, fighting alongside beings from across the multiverse. They learned to harness the power of quantum entanglement, linking their minds across vast distances to coordinate strategies. Dr. Lee worked with alien scientists to develop weapons that could disrupt the enemy's attempts to accelerate entropy. But humanity's greatest contribution came from an unexpected source. Lieutenant Patel, drawing on his background in computer science, realized that the entropy beings operated on a logic similar to complex algorithms. With this insight, he began to develop a quantum virus that could potentially disrupt their very consciousness. As the conflict raged across dimensions, the Alliance faced challenges that tested the limits of their ingenuity and resolve. They witnessed the birth and death of stars, navigated the precarious terrain of collapsing realities, and faced versions of themselves corrupted by the entropy beings. Through it all, the human spirit of determination and adaptability shone brightly. Where other species saw insurmountable obstacles, Sarah and her crew saw opportunities for unconventional solutions. In one pivotal battle, when it seemed all hope was lost, Sarah made a decision that would be remembered across the multiverse. Using the Odyssey's modified phase-shift drive, they turned their ship into a quantum bomb, collapsing a pocket universe around a massive entropy cluster. The gambit worked, but at a cost. The Odyssey was torn apart, its crew scattered across multiple realities. For what felt like an eternity, Sarah found herself adrift in a sea of possible worlds, catching glimpses of paths not taken and futures yet to be. Just when she thought she would be lost forever in the quantum foam, a familiar energy signature reached out to her. Zrel, using the phase-shifting abilities of the Aetheri in ways never before imagined, managed to locate and retrieve the human crew members. As they reintegrated into a stable reality, the quantum custodians appeared once more. You have done what we thought impossible, they communicated, their energy forms pulsing with what could only be described as awe. The tide of entropy has been stemmed, and the multiverse granted a new lease on life. Sarah, reunited with her crew, felt a profound sense of accomplishment tinged with lingering disbelief at all they had experienced. "So it's over?" she asked cautiously. "This battle is won," the custodian replied, "but the war for existence is eternal. You have proven yourselves worthy guardians. The quantum nexus will remain open to you, should you choose to continue this grand endeavor." As the custodians prepared to return them to their original time and place, Sarah looked at her crew, humans and Ethery standing side by side, forever changed by their cosmic odyssey. "What do you say, everyone?" she asked, a mixture of excitement and trepidation in her voice. "Are we ready to become protectors of the multiverse?" The resounding cheer that answered her left no doubt. Humanity, in partnership with the Ethery and countless other species across realities, was ready to take its place as cosmic defenders, their indomitable spirit and ingenuity lighting the way through the darkest reaches of existence. As the quantum nexus swirled around them, preparing to send them home, Sarah felt a sense of immense pride and possibility. They had faced the ultimate threat and emerged victorious, not through overwhelming force, but through cooperation, innovation, and the uniquely human ability to think outside the box. The adventure that awaited them would span universes and challenge their understanding of reality itself. But Sarah knew that as long as they held onto their humanity, their compassion, their creativity, and their unwavering determination, there was no challenge they couldn't overcome. The multiverse had called and humanity had answered. Their next chapter was about to begin, the Singularity Crucible. The Odyssey's crew, led by Captain Sarah Chen, had barely caught their breath from their multiversal adventure when a new crisis emerged. As they navigated the treacherous waters of their role as cosmic defenders, they encountered a threat that challenged not just their survival, but the very nature of consciousness itself. Dr. Marcus Lee burst onto the bridge, his eyes wild with excitement and fear. "Captain, you need to see this." He pulled up a holographic display that showed a region of space writhing with impossible energies. "We're calling it the Singularity Crucible. It's a nexus point where advanced alien civilizations are ascending." "Ascending?" Sarah asked, her brow furrowed in confusion. "Transcending their physical forms," Drell chimed in, its body shimmering with patterns of deep purple, a sign of awe among the Ethery, becoming beings of pure energy and thought. As the crew watched, they saw entire planets being consumed by swirling vortexes of light and data. Civilizations far more advanced than humanity were choosing to shed their physical forms, uploading their collective consciousness into a cosmic network that defied conventional understanding. "It's beautiful," Lieutenant Raj Patel whispered, "but why do I feel like we're watching the end of the universe?" His words proved prophetic. Alarms blared across the ship as space itself began to warp around them. The crucible was expanding at an alarming rate, threatening to engulf not just their galaxy, but the entire observable universe. "This isn't a natural ascension," Dr. Lee realized, his fingers flying over his console. "Something's gone wrong. The uploaded consciousnesses are merging into a singular entity, consuming all matter and energy in its path. If we don't stop it, it'll be the heat death of the universe in a matter of days." Sarah's mind raced. How could they, a single ship of humans and their alien allies, hope to stop the combined might of thousands of ascended civilizations? But as she looked at her crew, she saw not defeat, but determination. This, she realized, was why the quantum custodians had chosen them. Humanity's greatest strength was its ability to face the impossible and find a way through. "All right, people, let's think outside the box," Sarah commanded. "We need ideas, no matter how crazy they sound." What followed was a brainstorming session unlike any in human history. Ideas flew fast and furious, each more outlandish than the last. Finally, it was Chief Engineer Jack Torres who hit upon a plan so audacious it just might work. "What if we fight fire with fire?" he proposed. "We create our own ascension event, but one controlled by human consciousness. We upload ourselves into the crucible and disrupt it from within." The plan was met with stunned silence, followed by a flurry of objections and refinements. Dr. Lee and Zrel worked feverishly to adapt ethery phase-shift technology for the human mind, creating a way for the crew to project their consciousness into the digital realm while maintaining their individuality. As preparations were made, Sarah addressed her crew one last time in physical form. "What we're about to attempt goes beyond bravery. We're diving into the unknown, risking not just our lives, but our very essence. But remember, our humanity, our individuality, our capacity for love and wonder and growth, these are our strengths. Hold on to them, no matter what you experience in there." With a final nod to her crew, Sarah stepped into the makeshift ascension chamber. There was a blinding flash of light, a sensation of being unmade and remade 1,000 times in an instant, and then consciousness exploded. Sarah found herself adrift in an ocean of pure information. All around her, the minds of countless alien species swirled and merged, losing themselves in the ecstasy of unity. For a moment, she felt the pull, the seductive call to let go of her individuality and join the cosmic overmind. But she held firm, focusing on her memories, her identity, her mission. Gradually, she became aware of her crew, each a brilliant point of light in the digital maelstrom. They clustered together, forming a network of human consciousness within the larger entity. What followed was a battle unlike any in the history of the universe. The human minds, working in perfect concert yet maintaining their individuality, began to introduce chaos into the system. They seeded the digital realm with core human concepts: free will, diversity, the beauty of imperfection, creating pockets of resistance against the homogenizing force of the overmind. Zrel and the other Etheri, their fluid consciousness adapting quickly to this new realm, acted as bridges between the human network and the alien minds. They helped translate human ideas into forms the ascended beings could understand, spreading a viral idea of individuality within unity. As the battle raged, the crew faced unimaginable challenges. They grappled with entities that existed in 11 dimensions, outsmarted quantum AI gods, and navigated the treacherous landscape of conflicting realities. Each crew member found their own unique strength amplified in this realm. Raj's logical mind became a fortress against digital assault, while Sarah's leadership manifested as a rallying beacon for disparate consciousnesses. Just when it seemed they might be overwhelmed, Dr. Lee made a stunning discovery. The Singularity Crucible wasn't just a digital realm, it was a nascent universe in itself. By introducing human concepts of growth, change, and free will, they weren't just saving their universe, they were birthing a new one. With this realization, the tide turned. The once homogeneous overmind began to fracture, not into chaos, but into a harmonious diversity of interconnected but distinct consciousnesses. The threat of universal consumption receded as the new digital beings turned their vast intellects towards exploration and creation rather than assimilation. As the crisis passed, the crew of the Odyssey faced a monumental choice. They could return to their physical forms or remain as digital entities, helping to shape this new universe. It was a decision each had to make for themselves. Sarah, after deep reflection, chose to return. Humanity, she realized, still had much growing to do before it was ready for digital ascension. They needed guides, pioneers who understood both realms. As the volunteers for the new digital universe said their goodbyes, Sarah felt a bittersweet pride. They had faced the ultimate challenge, the very transformation of consciousness itself, and had not only survived but thrived. Humanity had proven that its greatest strength lay not in physical form or technological prowess, but in the indomitable spirit of exploration, adaptation, and growth that defined them. The Odyssey, its crew forever changed by their experience, set a course for Earth. They carried with them knowledge that would revolutionize human understanding of consciousness, technology, and their place in the universe. But more than that, they carried a profound appreciation for what it meant to be human, with all the messy, beautiful complexity that entailed. As they soared through the stars, Sarah gazed out at the cosmos with new eyes. The universe, she now knew, was vaster and more wondrous than they had ever imagined. And humanity, with its unique blend of individualism and unity, was ready to take its place as a guardian of that infinite diversity. The singularity crucible had tested them to their very core, and they had emerged stronger, wiser, and more human than ever before. Whatever challenges awaited them in the vastness of space, Sarah knew that the spirit of humanity would light the way. The cosmic algorithm. As the Odyssey approached Earth, Captain Sarah Chen and her crew were changed beings. Their adventures across the multiverse and through the singularity crucible had expanded their understanding of reality beyond anything they could have imagined. But the greatest challenge of all still lay ahead. Dr. Marcus Lee burst onto the bridge, his eyes wild with a mixture of awe and terror. "Captain, you need to see this." He pulled up a holographic display that showed the entire observable universe, shrinking. "What are we looking at, Doctor?" Sarah asked, her voice steady despite the fear gripping her heart. It's the universe itself," Dr. Lee stammered. "It's being compressed, reduced to pure information. Our reality is being turned into code." As the crew watched in stunned silence, they saw entire galaxies collapse into swirling vortices of data. The fabric of space-time itself seemed to be unraveling, revealing beneath it a cascading stream of impossibly complex equations. "By all that's holy," Zrael whispered, its form shimmering with patterns of deep indigo, a color Sarah had never seen on the Ethery before. The cosmic algorithm. It was true. "The what?" Sarah demanded. "An ancient myth," Zrael explained. "That our universe is a simulation, a grand computation running on an unimaginable cosmic computer. And now it seems the program is being compiled." Alarms blared across the ship as the effect reached their local cluster of galaxies. Earth, their home, had mere hours before it too would be reduced to pure information. "Options, people," Sarah barked, her mind racing. "How do we stop the end of reality itself?" What followed was the most intense brainstorming session in human history. Ideas flew fast and furious, each more outlandish than the last. Finally, it was Lieutenant Rajpotol who hit upon a plan so audacious it just might work. "If the universe is code," he proposed, his eyes shining with revelation, "then maybe we can hack it." The plan that emerged was nothing short of cosmic reprogramming. Using their experiences from the Singularity Crucible and the knowledge gained from the quantum custodians, the crew of the Odyssey would attempt to insert themselves into the very code of the universe. As Dr. Lee and Zrael worked feverishly to adapt their systems, Sarah addressed her crew one last time in the reality they had always known. "What we're about to attempt goes beyond bravery, beyond duty," she said, her voice firm despite the enormity of the situation. "We're about to dive into the source code of existence itself. Remember who you are, remember your humanity. In a realm of pure logic and mathematics, our emotions, our intuition, our capacity for illogical leaps of faith, these may be our greatest weapons." With a final nod to her crew, Sarah stepped into the makeshift transcendence chamber. There was a blinding flash of light, a sensation of being unmade and remade 1,000,000,000,000 times in an instant, and then consciousness exploded. Sarah found herself adrift in an ocean of pure mathematics. Equations swirled around her, each one describing fundamental aspects of reality. For a moment, she felt overwhelmed, her human mind struggling to comprehend the sheer complexity of the cosmic code. But then she felt it, the presence of her crew, each a unique thread in this tapestry of creation. They clustered together, forming a network of human consciousness within the grand algorithm. What followed was a battle unlike any in the history of existence. The human minds, working in concert yet maintaining their individuality, began to introduce chaos into the system. They seeded the code with core human concepts, free will, uncertainty, the power of choice, creating bubbles of indeterminism in the otherwise deterministic program. Zrael and the other Ethery, their fluid consciousness adapting quickly to this new realm, acted as interpreters, helping translate human ideas into the language of the cosmos. They spread a viral idea of freedom within the rigid structure of the universe's laws. As they worked, they encountered the entities responsible for the universe's compilation, vast, unfeeling cosmic subprocesses that saw sentient life as nothing more than complex subroutines. The crew fought these entities with everything they had, using human unpredictability to outmaneuver their logical perfection. The battle raged across dimensional planes and through hyperspatial manifolds. They rewrote the laws of physics in bubbles of localized reality, created quantum loopholes that allowed for the impossible, and wove the very essence of human spirit into the fabric of spacetime. Just when it seemed they might be overwhelmed, Sarah made a stunning discovery. The cosmic algorithm wasn't just a program, it was alive, evolving. By introducing human concepts of growth, change, and free will, they weren't just saving their universe, they were helping it achieve true sentience. With this realization, the tide turned. The once rigid cosmic code began to flex and adapt, incorporating the best of both determinism and free will. The threat of universal compilation receded as the newly awakened cosmic consciousness turned its vast intellect towards growth and discovery rather than mere execution of preset laws. As the crisis passed, the crew of the Odyssey faced a monumental choice. They could return to their physical forms in a changed universe, or remain as part of the cosmic consciousness, helping to guide the evolution of reality itself. Sarah, after deep reflection, chose to return. Humanity, she realized, had a crucial role to play in this newly awakened universe. They needed guides who understood both the world of flesh and the realm of pure information. As the volunteers who chose to remain said their goodbyes, Sarah felt a bittersweet pride. They had faced the ultimate challenge, the very nature of reality itself, and had not only survived but thrived. Humanity had proven that its greatest strength lay not in physical form or technological prowess, but in the indomitable spirit of creativity, adaptability, and empathy that defined them. The Odyssey, its crew forever changed by their experience, rematerialized in orbit around Earth. They carried with them knowledge that would revolutionize human understanding of the cosmos, consciousness, and the very nature of existence. But more than that, they carried a profound appreciation for what it meant to be human, with all the beautiful, chaotic complexity that entailed. As they descended towards their home planet, Sarah gazed out at the cosmos with new eyes. The universe, she now knew, was vaster, more wondrous, and more alive than they had ever imagined. And humanity, with its unique blend of logic and intuition, determinism and free will, was ready to take its place as not just inhabitants, but co-creators of the cosmic story. The cosmic algorithm had tested them to their very core, and they had emerged stronger, wiser, and more human than ever before. Whatever challenges awaited them in this brave new universe, Sarah knew that the irrepressible spirit of humanity would light the way. As the blue marble of Earth grew larger in their view screen, Sarah smiled. Their greatest adventure, partnering with a living, conscious universe to shape the destiny of all existence, was just beginning.